Hi, my name is Carolyn Thompson, and I am the Assistant Director here at the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula. Thank you for joining me in this read today. I'm doing part of a virtual read series here at the museum. As many of you know, we were not, unfortunately, able to hold a real live book sale this year. And so, in lieu of that, our director, Jesse Rogers, came up with a great idea to read books online. And so, a variety of us have chosen to do that for you. And we wanted to say thank you for your generous support of the museum. This has been a tough year for all of us. And we hope that these readings will bring a little enjoyment to your life and that they will encourage you to peruse our virtual book sale, which you can access at our website, fortmissoulamuseum.org/virtual book sale. And you should be able to log it or go to our website and find a whole plethora of books available for purchase, and also some little surprises and mystery boxes that you may be tempted to purchase as well. So tonight, my selection for you that I'm going to read from is Buster's Diaries by Roy Hattersley. I purchased this book at one of our book sales, and it's a very fascinating and clever book. It's told from the standpoint of Buster, the dog. I'm a great dog lover. Missoula is a dog town, and I just thought this was very funny and entertaining and made me laugh out loud. So hopefully the passage I've selected for you tonight is equally entertaining. So let's get started. Again, Buster's Diaries. March 1st, 1996, London. We had been to Paws You Like, the pet shop, or, as it now calls itself, the Westminster Animal Companion Center. It was full of things to eat, tins of meat, all as advertised on television, and some of them the food of champions. Sacks full of sawdust balls I am given every morning, biscuits in dozens of different shapes and with hundreds of different tastes, white mice, gerbils, budgeriboos, and hamsters. We bought nothing of any value. All we brought home was a cardboard box on which was printed in big red letters, "Precious Cargo." Underneath it said, "When you travel, make sure your pet is as safe as you are." Inside the box, there was what the man called Buster's braces, scarlet webbing and buckles, which he says I must wear every time I go in the car. He tried to put it on me as soon as we got home. I did all I could help by rolling about on the floor and chewing the loose ends of the webbing, but he still could not work out which loops my legs went into and how to fasten the buckle at the back of my neck. He almost strangled me twice. Getting the harness on will add 20 minutes to every journey. With any luck, he will get bored and throw it away in a week or two. While I was choking to death with the webbing pressing against my windpipe, the man told me that it was all being done for my own good. He said that being just a dog, I wouldn't see a crash coming, so when it happened, I wouldn't have braced myself and I would fly about the inside of the car like a giant furry squash ball. What I can't understand is why, if he can see the crash coming, we have the crash. Once Precious Cargo is buckled on, it is comfortable enough and rather dashing in its way. I look as if I am about to parachute into enemy territory for purposes too secret to describe. But when it is used to make me as safe as he is, the result is a disaster. For the buckle between my shoulder blades is attached to the backseat safety belt, and although I can sit or lie down, prancing about is impossible. I am beginning to learn about caution and restraint. But without the freedom to prance, driving will lose its joy. March 4th, 1996. I have been very ill. At first I thought it was the usual stomach trouble caused by eating filth. So I rushed about looking for grass to eat. Grass makes me sick. There is no grass in our house. So I got very agitated and started chewing the doormat in the hope it would have the same effect. It was very late, but the man took me out and I ate a lot of real grass and was sick. I am very good at being sick. Once my stomach is full of grass, I can vomit at will. Contracted muscles so that I ripple from tail to head. It always makes me feel better. Last night, I felt better for only a couple of hours. Then I felt even worse than before. I started rushing around again, forgetting that there is no grass in the house, and bumped into all the chairs and tables. The man got out of bed looking very frightened and asked me, "Are you all right?" It was a silly question. The man knelt down and started to rub behind my ears. That is what he always does when he is worried about me. Rubbing behind my ears was the last thing I wanted, so I ran off looking for grass in the dining room. While I was under the table, he made a telephone call. Then he put his trousers on over his pajamas, and we went into the car. There was no grass in the car. I did not look forward to the journey, but the man said, "We are going to see the vet," as if I would be pleased by the news. I do not like vets. When I was very young, a vet stuck a needle in me. The man lifted me onto a table and the vet squeezed my stomach. I do not like strangers squeezing my stomach, so I tried to bite him. The vet said he would have to take a photograph of my insides before he could make me feel better. He then stuck a needle in me. It made me go to sleep. When I woke up, I was in a cage in the vet's cellar. At first, I was very frightened because I thought I was back at the dog's home, so I howled a lot. Then the man came in, knelt down, and rubbed behind my ears as usual. When I saw him, I knew everything would be all right. On the way home, he told me what was wrong with me. A bit of chicken I had picked up on the road had been wrapped in something called plastic wrap, which is invisible. Even the photographs of inside of my stomach missed it at first, so I'm not to be blamed for not seeing it. The plastic wrap had blocked up my bowels. "You've got to get rid of it," he said, "or we'll have to cut you open." I think he thought that would encourage me to take the medicine the vet had given us. The man went on and on about not eating rubbish. "How many times have I told you that it would make you ill?" He did not expect an answer, but said there should be a law against dropping chicken in the street. He is wrong. Chicken that has been walked on is one of life's great delights. When he told me that taking me out at night was like going for a walk with a vacuum cleaner, I pretended to be sick again. March 10th, 1996. Getting rid of the plastic wrap was wonderful. Every 3 hours for a full day, he gave me a spoonful of medicine called liquid paraffin. Then we went for a walk. The walks got very boring, but the liquid paraffin had a sticky sweet taste. After the third dose, I tried to eat the spoon. At 4 o'clock this morning, I think it was the seventh walk, but I lost count, he poked about with an old walking stick he had suddenly started to carry and said, "Thank God at last." When we got back home, I sat down and waited for a spoonful of medicine. "Look," the man said, "Buster's addicted to liquid paraffin." Then he went to bed. March 12th, 1996. When the telephone rang this morning, I barked. It made everybody jump, including me, for I had never barked before. Now that I have started, I don't think I will ever stop. People always jump when I bark, and making people jump is one of my greatest pleasures. March 14th, 1996. He has got it into his head that I am overprivileged, never done a day's work in your life. He does not understand that my job is looking after him. I wake him as soon as the newspapers are delivered. I chew the mail before he opens it. I protect him from cats and find him fit and keep him fit by taking him for a walk 4 times a day. Now that I can bark, he is protected from people who want to talk to him in the street. I make so much noise that he always says, "Sorry about this," and walks away. The best part of my job is making him grin like an idiot by rolling on my back, lying with my legs in the air, jumping on his knee, or just acting with endearing charm, which I do most of the time. Sometimes I think I have an even more important job. That is to take the blame for things I did not do. Marks on the carpet, chairs overturned, newspapers torn in half, deliveries that are never made. Someone always says, it must be Buster's fault. That part of my job is full-time. We went back to the vet's to make sure I am fit and well. He did not squeeze my stomach. That may be because I look so healthy or because I tried to bite him the last time he did it. The man asked me about my food, and the vet said he had once eaten sawdust balls himself, just as a test. It was the only dog food he would consider eating. The difference between the vet and me is that he ate them once. I eat them all the time. The vet went on to the man about how sawdust balls kept me regular and healthy. But the man asked, wouldn't he prefer boiled offal and chicken from the supermarket, like the food my mother gives to her dog Sally? The vet replied, he would prefer decomposed rats that he dug up from under the hedges. The vet was right. And then he said, but it would not be good for him. That spoiled everything. The man said, perhaps we don't give him enough to eat. We always stick to what it says on the packet, but he still picks up all the filth on the road. Perhaps he is really hungry. The vet then said a very wicked thing. Greedy dogs like Buster want to eat all the time and will eat anything. From now on, the man will make jokes about greedy dogs like Buster. I do not think they are very funny. March 20th, 1996. One of the nicest times is when the man comes home at night. He always wants to sit on the sofa and watch television. I sit next to him and spill his tea by leaning against his arm just as he begins to drink it. He puts his arm around me and says, careful, Buster. I am never careful. I lick his face and then leap on him. She says, he is trying to dominate you. It's not affection. It's an attempt to dominate. By then, I have got my feet on his shoulders and his face is wet all over. The man says, it's not an attempt. He's succeeding. When I calm down, he talks to me about what he has been doing all day. Sometimes I don't understand the details, but I like the noise he makes. The man scratches my stomach and I lie across his knee in ridiculous positions, often with my head hanging over the side of the sofa and all 4 feet up in the air. I stay there until the man says, let's go to bed, Buster. Then I run into my bed and go to sleep straight away. There is general agreement that I am very good at going to bed when told. That is because I would have liked to go to bed much earlier. I get bored with the man talking to me about his day. On most nights, I want to go to bed half an hour before he tells me to, but I don't like to hurt his feelings. March 23rd, 1996. The man says we have to talk seriously about discipline. He says I have no idea what the word means. That is true. I know he read about it in a book when he first adopted me. As far as I can remember, it involves constant, pointless indignities. I am no longer allowed to go through doors before he does. I have only to get my nose over the threshold for him to shout, back up, back up. I am then expected to walk backwards and stand absolutely still until he goes out in front of me. He has decided to prove that he is senior to me in the pack. It is obvious to me that he isn't. If he were a leader, instead of all this back up and sit nonsense, he would just bite me when I annoy him. And so that's where I'll close for the evening. Thanks again for joining me tonight for this read. And thank you also for supporting the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula. Again, if you're interested in purchasing one of our books from our virtual book sale, you may visit our website at fortmissoulamuseum.org/virtual book sale. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.